Okay guys, we got a little bit more bandwagon jumping going on yet again. Naturally it's involved in lefty programs like Jeremy Vine and the perpetually outraged ponces that sit on Twitter ready to scream about how oppressed some minority group happens to be that day. It's funny how they're all silent as medical apartheid sweeps in, but that's a different video altogether. Today we're dealing with Insulate Britain, or not really, because while the original subject matter is about them, the story itself is no longer about that. During the little debate on Jeremy Vine, they had everyone's favourite Britain-hating commie trout Yasmin Alibhai-Brown on the show, who said the public should get used to eco-loons blocking the streets. This obviously didn't surprise me, as she's never on the right side of anything. Brexit was a perfect example of that, as you all know. But coming back at her stupidity was Mike Parry, who simply said stupid protests by fringe lunatics like these should be stamped out due to the chaos they cause. These are not protests, as you know, like most others that are peaceful and limit disruption felt by the everyday person going about their lives. A protest needs the public on side, as many of you will know, and pissing them off is obviously not a good way to do that. This is why many of these eco-loons are literally fringe at best, even with Green Guild Boris Johnson leading the charge in government. But Mike Parry, even saying minority, of course got jumped on by every tosspot looking for a reason to scream bigot, and like clockwork they all come out of the woodwork and did it. Of course, the fact it had nothing to do with a minority race or religion didn't matter in the slightest. They came out of the woodwork in force, condemning him for literally saying fuck all that was offensive. I mean, all he said was this, and I'm literally quoting: "The problem in this country in all areas is that minorities always get the upper hand because we're so tolerant, and minorities have to be squashed like that so the rest of society can operate normally." Now obviously, being a media pundit, he's not talking about squashing black people, Muslims, gays or any other protected group, let's be honest. He's clearly talking about squashing minority protests of 10 people sitting in the middle of the road, pissing off thousands of motorists literally every hour. I would bet no one would be saying any of this if they protested like every other group, both large and small, that does this shit. These idiots block roads and fuck people's day up, as you know. This is why people will never support them and actually support them being stopped. Of course though, that's not even the point of this video. The point is all of these fuckpigs screaming about nothing and claiming he should be cancelled. Some even said he incited violence, which is obviously laughable, but let's be honest, not surprising for the tosspots these days. However, if you think that this is inciting violence, then you have lived a very sheltered life, it must be said. But we did have Sky Sports commentator Gary Traphouse or Taphouse saying nuke the show from orbit, it's the only way to be sure. What the fuck are you even on about? And to top it off, we had Muslim organisation Tell Mama UK, which tracks anti-Muslim sentiment across the country, labelled the comments as abhorrent. They go on, "This must be fully investigated, it's simply unacceptable. We condemn this in the strongest terms," the group tweeted. What the actual fuck are you even condemning? He wasn't talking about ethnic minorities, Muslims or anyone else. Why don't you sit the fuck back down and literally just shut up? If you ask me, all of this is just jumping on the bandwagon for a bit of virtue signalling bollocks, the absolute scumbags. Now, Jeremy Vine actually tried to defend him, pointing out the obvious, but likely got attacked himself, so deleted the tweet defending Mike Parry soon after. Vine is a coward, so this really doesn't surprise me, as I'm sure it doesn't surprise you. But I guess it shows the bandwagon jumping wankers must be getting desperate to have to use this nothing comment like they have. It's actually pathetic, but like I said, not surprising.